in here. Now, if you folks, oh geez, that's terrible lighting. Hang on a second. If you folks see me responding to chat, hang on a second, let me go back now. If you folks see me responding to chat that you don't see, where did my chat go? Hang on a second. If you guys see me responding to chat you don't see, please know that I am simultaneously streaming on 2 devices. One on our half-acre homestead and this one on Life with the Wolfies. So you're only going to get half the chat. If I am responding to a question, I will try and read the question so that you guys can see it. Is this going to be too much? Oh, no, that works better. I like that better. Okay, here we go. So, hey, Joe Mama. Debbie's cooking. Seashell. Good girl. Look at you go. Debbie's cooking. Sandy Wilkerson. Corey C. Rosie Slade. Penny Banks. So, listen. I'm going to shout out, folks, if I repeat your name, it's because, well, I'm just seeing them as we go. Hi, Simply Jessica. How's it going? Aloha. Seashell. Aaron, hi. Okay, let's talk for a minute, okay? I just came off a 4-day fibro flare. Now, as far as the length of my fibro flare, it's all good. 4 days is a walk in the park almost. But the intensity of the fibro flare was really, really bad. And I went from Tuesday starting to feel the exhaustion Tuesday afternoon while I was doing potatoes to Wednesday night, feeling all the trigger points starting to be stabbed and burning, to Thursday, all I could do was make a crock pot supper and sit in my chair and I did. It took me all day to do the dishes. Right? So by Friday, I only left my chair to let Gracie out or to make a tea and go to the bathroom. Howie brought home shawarmas for supper because I was just locked right down Friday. Yesterday morning, I woke up sobbing. Now I want to talk to you for a second about fibromyalgia, okay? That dinner video was Thursday, and I was not doing well, but Friday I was just a mess. And this is what been down 2 days, throwing up, fever, just starting to feel better. Oh, Robin, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hey, Samantha, Linda Bop, Yoshi, Sandy, Shirley. So here's the deal, okay? And who am I missing over here? Robin's Nest and Elaine Wagner. Hi. Yeah, so and Linda Chandler. Here's kind of fibro in a nutshell for people who don't have it. If you don't have fibromyalgia, you have no idea what a fibro flare does and the havoc it wreaks, not just on your body, but on your energy, your spirit, your self-esteem. You get depressed, you get sad. All of these things can grind you to a bloody halt and into the ground, right? So by Friday, I was locked down, completely locked down, except to go to the bathroom, get tea, and let Gracie in and out. And we're going to come on to happier topics in a minute. And Saturday, now here's multiple things can trigger a fibro flare. It doesn't just have to be physical, but I gave myself a perfect storm for a really intense Short, but really intense fibro flare. It is coming up on the anniversary of my father's death. I have been experimenting with bread puddings. Now, let me collate why those two things are important. I miss my dad. He's been gone 22 years next month, and I still miss my daddy, right? If I get a little emotional, this is it. I'm out of the fibro flare. I'm still a little emotional, but it's the best time for me to be clear, because there's nothing worse than going through a fibro flare and not learning something from it, so that you're more prepared for the next one, right? So when I was in high school, we seldom could afford for me to eat in the cafeteria, but every once in a while I could afford a bag of chips or something. And I remember seeing in the dessert section, in a pudding dish, cubes of bread covered by vanilla instant pudding. And I thought that was disgusting, right? If I can't keep up with the chat and there is a question, hopefully Seashell will be able to draw my attention to it, okay? And I came home and I told Dad, and he goes, "Oh, bread pudding." And I went, "Oh, that's disgusting." I did not correlate the kind of bread pudding my father was talking. Hey, Marla. I wasn't correlating the bread pudding my father was thinking of with cubes of bread and vanilla instant pudding that I saw. So it wasn't until years and years later that I actually experimented with bread pudding. And it was one of those things where it was bread and apples and cinnamon and raisins and custard, right? I never went beyond that in my head. That was as fancy as it got. But I never got to make one for my dad. Once I understood, I never got the opportunity to make one for my dad. So, Saturday morning, I woke up sobbing. Hey, Jessica Soto. And I had been dreaming. Now listen, okay? I've been making bread puddings. It's coming up onto the anniversary of my father's death. And it's got no reflection on Howie, because he wasn't even in my dream, right? But I was stuck in a house with all of these people, 4 or 5 people that were really dominant in bad, traumatically stressful times in my life. They were key people in the trauma in my life. Okay? And they were all quite happy to be in this house, and they were talking to each other and all this stuff, and like everything was, but I didn't belong in this house. And it was, and I was starting to feel like I was a prisoner, right? Prisoner of my trauma. All right. And I kept saying, does anybody have a phone? I don't belong here. Does anybody have a phone? I need to call my dad to come and get me. Right. And someone would hand me a calculator that played music, but it wasn't a phone. And somebody would hand me their cell phone. And it was but when in my head, it was just a piece of cardboard. And then there was a landline, and I went to dial on it, and the dial pad disappeared. And I kept saying, will somebody please just call 705-656-4046 and tell my dad to come and get me. And I woke up sobbing, walked right out into the living room and crawled into Howard's arms. And he said, it's almost November, honey. So triggers, are not always physical. Sometimes they're mental, sometimes they're emotional. Triggers can be buried memories or things you don't want to look at, right? And triggers can also be doing a massive amount of work and not wanting to stop when you need to stop because you can see the light at the end of the work tunnel and you push past. These are all a perfect, and then there's food memories, right? So these are all things that can bring on a really intense fibro flare. And I had a really intense fibro flare. Now, I was really sensitive yesterday because like I had woke up sobbing. So I was like in tears on and off all day. And if I offended anybody in comments or any way, shape, or form, it was not my intention. I was out of the pain lockdown, but I was still a little foggy and still very, very emotionally raw. And fibro flares, you know, if it was just pain, it would be just pain. But what fibro flares are to me is when past physical, mental, or emotional trauma comes back to visit and doesn't leave until the only way out is through the pain. Through the pain, through the emotional trauma, through the depression and the aching sadness. All right? Through the thoughts that, you know, everybody would be better off without me. We all have them. It doesn't mean we're going to act on them, but we all have them. So when someone doesn't have fibro, they just have like arthritis, which is really painful. I have osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Frickin' painful. But when someone suffers pain and they equate it to fibromyalgia, they don't realize that they're doing a grave injustice to the person who has fibromyalgia. Because it is not just physical. It is mental, emotional, and physical trauma that comes back to visit. It's the best way I can describe it. And the difference between everyday arthritis pain for me and a fibro flare is everyday arthritis pain is something I live with every day. Some days it's better, some days it's worse. Some days it's debilitating, like when my knee goes out really bad. Now, when you add to that all these burning points in your body, why we call it a flare. It's like a hot flare starting in your pressure points. And then all of a sudden your muscles feel like they're contracting in on themselves. So you've got your everyday pain, but you're ground to a halt by pain you cannot. You just can't walk through. You have to face it. You have to deal with the emotions around it. You have to look at what triggered it, and then you can come out the other side. So that's me today. If I'm a little energetic, it's because I have come out the other side. Hey, Debbie. Fibromyalgia it can, it can crush you. And I was telling this to somebody else. I've had several people over the years since I was diagnosed. Hi, Alice. How are you, darling? Hi, Lacey Black. No, I'm not seeing them. I'll look later at the camera. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. I've still got fibro fog. Not as bad, but it's still like things go right out of my brain. Hey, Cheryl from Long Island. How are you, dear? No, my pain is back to normal right now. My knees are buggered, my shoulders hurt, my hands hurt, my wrists hurt, my back hurts, my ankles hurt, my neck hurts. But guess what? These are like a dull hum in the background. It's annoying as hell. And if you focus on it, it'll drive you nuts. But for the most part, you learn to live with it. And then the hammer comes down right on top of you with fibromyalgia. That's when you grind to a complete halt and you just get through it. Right? And it can be devastatingly mentally and emotionally crippling as well as physically. So, shit, I almost had it. There was somebody asked me, I can't remember now. It'll come back. When I have lupus flare, it's all I can do is get out of bed, but with kiddos, I must. It can be very hard. Exactly. I know what I was going to say. I've had several people over the years tell me that I should be on disability. And I say no. And they say, why? I said, I'm doing okay on YouTube. It allows me to be my own boss, have my own schedule, and develop. And I've created, I've found myself in the midst of a loving community. They go, yeah, but you still qualify for disability. You should apply for it. And this is my answer, folks. In order for me to apply for disability, I have to accept the fact that I am disabled. And even though I qualify because I'm unhireable, I can't make that decision to be disabled. Because once I accept the fact that I am disabled, I get disabled up here too. And I stop doing the things that keep me alive every day. So, no. Will I ever go on disability? I have no idea. I hope to God I never do. Because I can't be disabled. In order to accept being disabled, I would have to become disabled, and I would have to accept it up here. And right now, I'm still fighting it. I'm still fighting it every day. I keep putting one foot in front of the other, and I am grateful to the Creator every single day for the things that I still can do for myself. And I don't complain about the things that I can no longer do for myself. I just find a way around things. And I move forward, one day at a time, putting one foot in front of the other. They say it's the golden years, but I'm pretty sure it's rusty. That's a good one. That's a good one. How do you tell if you have it? Have had 3 surgeries and am recovering, but have days where I just bawl my eyes out. I'll even stand there telling Ma I am okay, just my body getting back at me. I don't know. You'd have to find a doctor to diagnose you, right? Hey, hola! How's it going? Barbara M. I'm missing something. But that's what has been going on. It started Tuesday, and you will notice in tomorrow's video when I tell you, okay, there is a potato video coming out tomorrow, okay, on our half-acre homestead. And the potato video is those 40 pounds of potatoes I got for $1 a bag, and they were not bad potatoes at all. But I did them 3 different ways this time. From slicing to canning to roasting and freezing. I did them 3 different ways than last time. But I also show you, there's something goes wrong. And, I might do it again to see if I'm right on how to fix it, but we'll see. You'll see in that video tomorrow that I just noticed it editing it today. That I was like almost glassy eyed and just, I should have let the potatoes wait another couple of days, and I just couldn't. I have generalized osteoarthritis with degenerative joint disease, and also had a major flare this week. Yeah, it's a rough week. It's been a rough week for a lot of people. And I think, but you know what I did do? As sensitive and as wobbly as I was yesterday, I got dressed and I went outside to my garden. And we have hit the age where everything just snaps, crackles, and pops. Yeah, Rice Krispies my butt. I haven't bought them since things started to snap, crackle, and pop. I have dogs eat off forks and spoons all the time. I know. Just not everybody's the same. Like, I wouldn't let a cat eat off my spoon. Do you know why? Their mouths are completely different. Their mouths, especially with the cups on their tongues, are breeding grounds of bacteria. That's why cat bites and cat scratches are so nasty. But a dog's mouth, you let a dog lick an open wound. I'll tell you what, if they will, because they're like comfrey on their tongue. Their mouths are completely. And the weather changes. Yeah. Hi, DJ. Yeah, and the weather changes too, Joe Mama. So there's a lot of things. And guess what? I'm going to be a grandma soon. And the showers this coming weekend. Yes, I said it out loud. I was talking to Arthur and Mel today, and I said we may be able to make it to Peterborough in time because her family's coming in from out of town. All of her family, her sisters and her mom and her dad and her uncle, are coming in from out of town. So they want to have kind of a family dinner on the Friday night. And Arthur said we were, invited. So I talked to them today and I said, we may make it. If I can, pick up Howie at work at noon on Friday, we may be able to check into our motel and have a quick shower and get, meet everybody else for the dinner. And Mel goes, well, it's really odd about how everybody's coming in from out of town at the same time. I said, Mel, I know you know. No, it's okay, Joe. I said, I said, Mel, everybody knows and so stop trying to hint. There's a shower. I tried to make it a surprise. That seems to be virtually impossible these days. And I said, and it's okay. All you need to know is that it's on Saturday and that I'm going to need Arthur in the morning if he's available. And then he'll come home and pick you up and bring you to the shower. I said, but it doesn't mean there's not going to be fun and surprises just the same. She said, absolutely. And she was really touched. She's been sending me every time she goes to see the midwife or the doctor and they record the heartbeat, she sends me a recording of the baby's heartbeat. And I've knitted a cat for the baby. I named it Mr. Bigglesworth because that's exactly what it looks like. And hi, Gothic Harlequin. How's it going? Julie Atkins, hi. So I said, I know there's a shower this weekend, Mel. And she said, well, yeah, it was getting kind of obvious. And I said, but we're still going to have fun. And she said, absolutely. So, oh yeah, Julie, I tell you what. Now remember, folks, if you're just coming in and you're not seeing half the chat I'm talking about, that is because I'm simultaneously streaming on 2 channels. All right, now let's do a smudge. I have 4 decks of cards out. And I might do a general pull, and that hurt my shoulder. I'm going to have to break into my new. Might have to get Oh, where's my other sage stick? Oh, well, okay. I'm going to have to order new sage sticks. I might make some of my own with cedar and garden sage. A smudge, Julie, is kind of like incense, okay? You know, certain religions and that use incense and stuff. Well, this is like incense. This is white sage, white wild sage, and it is to cleanse the air and the energy of negativity. Sacred white sage. Cleanse the air of negativity. Cleanse these cards for honesty. May I be open to message, and may you lift our hopes and prayers aloft on your smoke to the Creator. Aha. Okay. Okay. I made cowboy baked beans today. Somebody was saying they made cowboy chili, hillbilly chili, only it didn't have like coon and possum and squirrel in it. Somebody posted a squirrel thing on, there is no test to diagnose fibromyalgia, but you are having a flare and blood work is down. Okay, wait a second. There is no test to diagnose fibromyalgia. Well, my pain specialist begged to differ. Both of them. But if you're having a flare and blood work is done, your immune markers will be high. That is how my doctor explained it to me. Well, when I went to the first pain specialist, I was like, I had Tylenol in my purse, and I said, okay, I got my Tylenol ready. And he goes, why? I said, because you're gonna touch all those pressure points, and I'm going to be crippled for a week. And he goes, no, we don't do that anymore. He said, we just evaluate your mobility, your pain levels, your movement, all of those things, how many hours of sleep you get, blah, 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 blah. He said, we don't do that anymore. It was causing too much pain and trauma. So that's what I was told. I just came back from my husband's baby shower for his first grandkid. We got her a baby first aid kit. Oh, cool. So that's what's been going on. Now, canning season, this is for both channels. There is a test to measure the level of inflammation in the body. That is how mine was diagnosed. Really? You made lasagna. Yummy. Well, today, let's just put it this way. Today, I got up. I did my dishes. I caught up the laundry. I haven't folded it yet. I baked 2 loaves of potato bread, and supper's in the crock, and it's a pantry pull meal. And yes, it's in the crock, and yes, I use soup. But you'll have to wait for the video. And no, there's no dessert. Oh God, no, grandbaby. Hey, Kim. Yeah, grandbabies. I am, come on. I was making quilts for Arthur and Mel's cats, for God's sake. And they are still the baby boys. They're still Grandy's boys. Tell your husband that you are safe with me. Why? Why would I have to do that? Why would I have to do that? Is there some nefarious thing going on? Why would you just say that? That's I can't go to bed without doing my dishes. Well, I haven't been using my dishwasher because it's an utter piece of crap. And after I took it apart to clean it, it never worked properly again. And the zip ties were too heavy on the spray arms. And when Angie came, she just did the dishes every day. And I just got in the habit. I would cook. She said, no, you cook, I do dishes. I said, okay. But some days she would cook. And I would do like the day she made pizza, I would do the dishes. And it dawned on me that my dishes are cleaner because I wash and rinse them, right? I'm not trusting a machine that stores gunk in its bottom, even when I clean the filters. So I'm getting rid of the dishwasher completely. It's just, I was getting to the point where I had to wash the dishes to put them in the dishwasher, and they still didn't come out clean. Some of them would come out with crap on it from the dishwasher. Oh, you're welcome, Bonnie Ingram. Hi, Rhonda Moulton. What is an orb? Well, sometimes an orb, sometimes it's dust, right? Because my desk needs cleaning and I just burnt some sage. But sometimes you'll see a little tiny ball of light that is really, really tiny, and you'll almost think it's a dust fleck. And that's usually my family coming to visit. I had a really cool moment a couple weeks back when Howie and I were out, and he was in the bank and I was sitting in the not in the bank, he was using the bank machine, and I was sitting in the passenger seat of the truck. And it was one of those days where we just had rain and it was sunny and damp and you could smell the leaves, and I had my window down while I was waiting because I was smoking a joint. And all of a sudden a ladybug. Now this is like October, and I haven't seen ladybugs since like July, at the beginning of August. But this ladybug comes and she lands on the door, but where the window slot is. And I put my hand down and I said, "Are you family come to visit?" And it crawled onto my hand and up my finger and looked me right in the eyes. It was my mom. Mom is ladybugs and cardinals. Just as usual, piecing and quilting took roast turkey breasts. Oh my goodness. Turkey breasts out of the oven, and dinner will be turkey and kale and sweet potato. Bev, that is such a good combo. Ooh, I'll have to try that. Ladybugs are your Grandma Betty. Yeah, I get mad when Scott uses the dishwasher now. I use exclusively, for canning. Right. Yeah, it's a loved one's visit, Melissa. You're right. So, and I saw my dad. Because my dad comes, Mom comes in a male cardinal. My mother was a very strong-spirited person. So she comes across as a male cardinal. My mother does. That's why she's tattooed as a male cardinal on my arm. My dad in birds comes through as almost all birds, but most exclusively with evening grosbeaks. And my mom is the ladybug insect, and my dad is the dragonfly. And just the other day, I don't know if it was when I went out yesterday or one day this week, but it was just in the last couple of days. I went out and there was a big old dragonfly flying around the top of the water that's left in the pool to look for bugs. And I went, "Hey, Dad, thank you. Happy fall." I mean, it's weird, but I associate, because my dad loved dragonflies. He used to talk about dragonflies as being the bug zappers for black flies and mosquitoes. He said they just eat them by the ton, almost as much as bats, right? So he would do this little dragonfly dance every time he saw the first dragonfly, right? So when I see a dragonfly, it's always my dad. Wouldn't be the first time in Bev's house. Yes, Gracie Lee. No, orbs in my house wouldn't be the first time, especially coming up to Samhain, or Samhain as some people call it, All Hallows Eve. The veil the veil is gone between, people who choose to see the truth and the truth. The veil is gone. But I'm talking about the veil of the spirit realm is very, very thin. And I always welcome them in out of the cold for the winter. Only the ones that intend no harm. And they always do something to let me know they're there. Cardinals show up out of season on bad days. It's my dad and my grandpa, I'm sure. Very comforting, yeah. Oh, my shoulder. So, That's what's been going on and what's coming up. What's coming up is a pantry pull meal. Tomorrow is potatoes, a pantry pull meal, bread, and how he finished fixing the kitchen door today. So there's a video coming up for Frugal Living. The door on the garage on the barn never fit properly, and it was hollow and broken at the bottom from ice. But it never fit the frame, so we only put it over there and put a block lock on it. The door got coming into my porch, the window was broken and it was ugly. And the door into my kitchen, the part that holds the tongue that goes into the wall, broke, kind of twisted and broke. So we spent $100 on one door, and Howie combined the porch door with the broken glass to the barn door with the broken bottom that didn't fit. He made a door for the barn, put the new $100 door on the porch, and fixed the door coming into the kitchen. 3 doors buttoning up for winter, $100. Right? Hey, Aces, Black Sheep, Freedom, Sassy, Terry Gadick. Okay, I said that wrong. Gig, Molly Smith, S. Samph. Blessed be to you too, darling. Oh, heck. Now, where did my chat go? Again. Hang on a second. And it wasn't even on live chat. So, hey, Rosie Slade, how's it going? So, I've had a really brief, felt like forever, very intense fibro flare, and I'm out the other side, and I'm so grateful. So, Briar is coming over on Thursday, and Briar is coming over on Thursday. I was just, cards are popping without me even, me talking. So, he's coming over Thursday. I'm going to pick him up, and he's going to babysit, house sit and babysit Gracie while we're gone. And it's so wonderful that we now have Bell fiber optics internet so that he won't miss out on his gaming or anything like that. Hey, Tina Harvey, Melissa Browning. I'm glad you could catch a live. Cheryl Carnes. Yeah, he's an amazing guy, right? When I told him that I was going to spend $1,000 on 2 new doors, he said, give me $300 and I'll fix it. I said, okay. And he did. And wait till you see. So, so there's a video about that coming, right? And what else? Broth. Oh my gosh. The broth. I have approximately 30 to 40 pounds of washed vegetable trimmings in my freezer. I have 2 grocery shopping plastic bags. Remind me about plastic bags in a minute. I have 2 of the washed celery. I have a great big one of onion ends and stuff that I had thrown in the freezer, but it was mostly onion. I have 2 bags, 2.5 bags of carrot ends and peels. I have a sleeve, like a bagel size sleeve of parsnips. I'm going to be making broth, and it's going to take all hands on deck. I don't know if I'm going to break it all up evenly into 3 or 4 canners. I don't know if I'm just going to can celery broth, can carrots and parsnips broth, can the onion broth, and then combine them all. But I think canning them together is part of the flavor, right? I love your name, Joe. Joe Mama. Paula Angel Wing 8. Afternoon all. Just got apples and strawberries. You know what? I'm bad. I have done apples in the dehydrator twice and I keep eating them. Mikey, I just keep eating them. They're bad. They're the most wonderful, crunchy treat you could ever want. I'm going to have to buy more apples. It will be amazing broth. But I went out and I bought 2 more boxes of canning jars. And I have another probably dozen quart jars in the pantry. So I'm probably going to fill all of my quart jars. And I know it's a lot of space, but I'll tell you what, when you've got home canned vegetable broth in the cupboard, you always have added nutrition to food. It's a soup starter. It's a soup booster, right? Okay, Alice, I agree too. Doing the veggies together, breaking them all up into sections, right? And you always have something you can cook rice in that doesn't necessarily change the flavor much, but boosts the nutritional value of rice. It makes it more complete. You're not just getting a carb, you're getting vitamin nutrients as well. Edie Cook is in need of a card reading from you. She is above asking. Okay. All right. These ones seem to want to talk. I'm going to pull from I forget what this is. What is this? Soul Journey cards. What your husband going to say about me looking at you? They don't make a memory pill for what you might see. If you're trying to be flirtatious, please don't. It only makes you look foolish. Okay? I've been married for 32 years to the best man there ever was for me. And I don't chat. I don't do that cyber crap. So please move along and don't make me block you. What was this? Oh, okay. Who was it? Edie Cook. Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. But you seem to be struggling. And there's a lot of people going through this right now. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But you seem to be struggling to put a positive spin on a lot of people in your family. You're loving them. You always try and filter your decisions of your family through love. Just don't expect them to do the same. There's a lot of people experiencing the lifting of the veil right now. Okay, the veil has been gone for a year at least, and everybody is beginning to see the true nature of some of the people in their lives. The politicians, family members, support groups, wherever people are. There's going to be people out here who see them for who they really are for the first time, and you're just going to have to live with seeing that. Okay, you can love them and you can love them from a distance, but love does not mean allowing people to walk all over you or to treat you unjustly just because you love them. They don't get to do that. Wow, that was a really strong message. I hope that made sense, Edie. Hey, Sheila Kraken. Did I say that really badly wrong? My husband had bought at least ball pint jars. I was upset. Some lids had bent and my jar did not seal. You don't use the lids that come with the jars. You know that, right? Coming in from Ireland, Sheila, how are you, darling? Could you please pull a card for me if it feels right? Give me a minute. Yeah, because the Gaia card just called me for you. Sheila, remind me in a second. Um, I can only do so many card readings, guys. Okay? It is a drain on my energy, and I forgot. No, I didn't forget to put up my shield, but I have to give myself a space in between them to breathe, okay? And I can't just randomly, I don't always see what's going on, okay? And even if I do see what's going on, I can't always, not all of the people who make the request are not all of the cards are talking to all of the people who are making the request. So I have to, you know. Okay, Mystic and Sheila. Mystic and Sheila. Don't let me forget. So, what was I talking about? I guess it doesn't really matter, eh? Doesn't really matter. We're moving onward. So, if it's time, it's time for those who see what's happening to step aside and let everybody fulfill their destiny. Don't try and stop people, even if don't try and stop people from fulfilling their destiny, okay? All right? This is for Sheila. Whoa, no, I'm not doing a half a deck. Sheila. Whoa, there we go. Wow. Sheila. 3 cards flipped over. Whoa, 3, 4, 5 cards flipped over. I'm going to have to encapsulate. This is the order they came in. Now, no, folks, understand that I don't read cards by the books. I tried that in the beginning because I was out of practice, but I realized it was only impeding my intuitiveness with what was coming up from the cards. Now, this is for Sheila in Ireland. You got the Sacred Journey card. Life cycles, family, transformation. Now, this is upright. And that, for me, what that is telling me is that you are linking up with all the right people in your family that make the people that make you feel safe. You are also recognizing who to trust and who not to trust in this sacred journey because you are ascending. Does that make sense? Amethyst. Again, transformation, certainty, and confidence. Embrace that change. Embrace where you're going with this, Sheila. The folk are talking, aren't they? You know what I'm saying? Embrace it. You're not nuts. Now, you got the message card, but it was upside down. And the message card is positive news, positive outcome. But this was upside down. Because you're waiting on something. You're waiting on something and you're afraid, not afraid. You have your doubts about the positivity of the results. You have the power to provide the positive energy for the outcome that needs. Because it doesn't matter whether it's positive for you and negative for somebody else, or negative for you and negative for somebody else. The outcome is its own story. And you just got to understand that there's nothing you could do about it. I don't know why that's saying that. Remembrance, which is apt coming in November. Resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. So all of these things these messages you're receiving from the folk, the masks that are dropping off the faces of people that you thought you knew and you didn't, and the messages like, oh God, please let it be a positive message, but you have your doubts. You need to put more positive energy into that. And this is all stirring up a lot of past trauma from your family life. And the dream. Something is revealed, insight, and breakthrough. Now, if that didn't make sense to you, I don't know how deeper that could have gotten. They didn't want me just talking through one card. They gave me like 5 of the bloody things. Okay, so Sheila, I hope that makes sense for you. At 59-year-old, single, and I felt the same way. I pushed myself every day working construction, driving trucks for so long. Last summer, in 3 months' time, I ended up not being able to walk. You know, life at this point in our lives is all about maintenance. Yes, Robin, in a minute. I've got one more to do after this, and then Robin's, and then I'm done card reading, okay? I'm going to shake some stuff off. I'm going to go behind the fan. And I know there's a lot of people out there that leave or think I'm doing some devil hoodoo stuff with these cards. No, folks. Everything I see, everything I do, it's on how serious you take it. Oh, plantar fasciitis, Angie. That's nasty stuff. Hey, copycat. So I've got is it Gypsy Haven? Gypsy Haven, are you still here? And Robin's Nest. And then I'm going to be done. Hey, Andrew. But I'm much happier. You know what I mean. Okay. All right. You're still working on the acceptance part. And that's happening for you, Andrew. I can feel that. I don't even need to pull you a card. Mystics Haven. Thank you. Okay. Mystics Haven and Robin's Nest. So I'm going to go behind. Now, it's only hoodoo, weirdo, freaky deaky, scary stuff if that's the energy you put into it. If you want to treat this like fun, then that's, if you know, all you have to do is to treat it like a game. If it's serious for you, it's serious for you. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can tell me I'm full of shit. It's okay, right? The point is it's what you make it, right? Okay. Considering how sore my hand is, I did that rather well. So, Mystics Haven. We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Ere our bonnet boat was won, as we sailed into the mystic. Yeah, my voice is crap today. I didn't have my practice Freaky Friday. Thank you, and no, I don't. Used to read Indian medicine cards with my best friend. Thank you for the energy. I'm not a witch. I mean, I've been burned as one, but I'm just me. This is the here's a problem I have. Labels! The more labels we have for people and places and things and religions, the harder it is for us to relate to each other. Let's get rid of the labels. We're human beings. Not human doings, human beings. It means be in the moment because that's all we have. I'm not a witch, and no, I don't take offense, honey. I know you were saying, you know, witchy woman kind of style, but exactly. Too many. Hey, Gypsy Mama. You know, there's too many labels out there. There is too many labels out there. It's like everybody trying to identify themselves. It's bad enough we had to be slapped with names and registered when we were born. Who owns us that allows them to do that to us? All right. Mystic Haven. Really? Okay. Mystic Haven. The I don't even know what these are called. They're some oracle card. They're all oracle cards. But the truth is, sometimes cards call to me, and I don't necessarily go with the symbolism of the card company. I don't promote you know, all of these conspiracy theories and symbolism stuff. I pick on the energy. Okay. This is for Mystic Haven. I guess I was wrong. Ow! What? You're kidding, right? Something just fell on my foot that had nowhere to fall from. Nowhere to fall from. Well, maybe it's the Work Your Light Oracle. Well, I mean, witch just means wise person, but it's the negative connotations that have been put on it over the centuries. It wasn't 100 years ago that you could still be burned for a witch or tried as a witch in this country, right? If Trudeau has his way, I'll go back to that. Whoa, okay. This is for Mystic Mama. I had a feeling, Mystic Mama, Mystic Haven. Why am I calling you Gypsy Mama Mystic Haven? Okay. You're already doing it, honey. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking what's happening to you. You are already, the questions that you're asking, am I doing this right? Or what can I do to go forward in a more positive light? You're already doing it. Good for you. Kudos. Hang on to that. Okay? It's going to be a bumpy ride, but you're going in the right direction. You're doing all the right things. Okay? And Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest. The soul's journey is calling. Thank you, Sherry Glass. Did that make sense, Mystic Haven? Okay, this is for Robin's Nest. Nope, it's not. Robin's Nest? Nope. Maybe it's the Energy Oracle cards. Whoa, they're sliding all over the place. Yeah, they're gonna have a message for Robin's Nest. It's not even letting me shuffle. It's like, just give me a card. Robin's Nest. All right. They're all over the place. Okay. This card is the one that wants to come out. The door to value. The door to value. Okay, here's what's going on, Robin. You look at this door, and there's money on one side, and there's gold on the other. The door to value is open both ways. And I don't know why I'm hearing gold over cash, gold over cash. But I'm also hearing get your ducks in a row. Okay? Get your ducks in a row. You have this you have an open, see, the door's not open wide. You have a narrow window. You have a narrow window of time. Not time. You have a narrow window to realize what's valuable in your life and what's not. That door is open. Pay attention. Don't mistake cash for gold and vice versa. Okay? Gold is a precious metal and it's beautiful, but it's soft and it dints. You got to be careful how you handle it. Right? That's the problem when hearts are made of gold, eh? The door to value. I'm also hearing that you need to value yourself more. I think that can be said for everybody. Well, good for you, Kathy. Awoyomi. Awoyomi? Maybe it's for both of us because I completely get that reading. Okay. Just because I pull a card for one person, it doesn't mean, okay, it doesn't mean that you can't get something out of it too. Right? Yeah. You're welcome, Robin's Nest. I'm glad it makes sense. Yeah, well, you know what? Everything's mostly digital nowadays anyway. But I got 20 bucks in my wallet because when that power went out in May and the gas pumps were being run by a generator at the gas station, and the guy was doing the cash and the ATM with his phone. Smart guy. They should have made him manager. And I went to the McDonald's drive-through to get Briar a shake, and they had no debit. And he goes, "What?" And I dug in the bottom of my purse, came up with $3 and paid for his shake. And the thing is one storm put a lot of lives in chaos, you know? So if you can afford to buy gold and silver, do so. And I don't necessarily mean online. I mean, I like, on the web. I mean, physically buy it. Then it might be a good idea, right? Old jewelry, keep it handy. I knew a girl once who rented from me. Her dad was a biker. And I forget what we were talking about. We were talking about, the value of gold and why our money's not backed by gold anymore, and it should go back to the gold standard. Hey, Sherry. Yeah, Linda, it's a good idea. So, and she went into her bedroom and she came out with a sandwich bagging full of gold jewelry. And I said, "What's that?" She said, "That's my insurance policy." And she said, and every time, she said, "I learned this from my dad." She said, "Every time I find gold or I get a good deal, on gold," she said, "I just keep putting it in a baggie. I got one for each of my kids," she said. And now you got coin collectors every couple of months sending flyers saying, "Oh, locally, we're going to be here to buy all your old coins and your old," why? Old coins mean silver, right? Your old coins, your old jewelry, and they'll probably only give you 50, if you're lucky, 50 cents on the dollar for its weight. Well, I have a credit union. I'm with a credit union, and our mortgage is with a bank. And I keep my shit to a minimum. I really do. Like, yeah, I do all my banking online, all my credit union work online. It's an online account. But I tell you what, last week, I couldn't get into my online account for like 12 hours. That's my entire, I have everything in paper backup. But that's how I do things. I pay all my bills and stuff that way. And I finally got through to the guy on the phone, and I waited a half an hour, and I never have to wait for customer service on the phone for this credit union. And I said, and there was one other thing that made me uneasy. Howie and I went to use the bank machine on a Saturday, and the door to the bank machine was locked. There was no slot for your card. You couldn't get into the bank machine. And it was supposed to be 24-hour service. So when I couldn't get into my bank for 12 hours a couple of days later, I phoned them, not my bank, my credit union. And I said, well, that's where barter comes in, right? So when I finally got through to the customer service, I said, is the credit union gone bankrupt or something? And he went, "What? No, why?" I said, "I've never had to wait a half an hour to get to customer service. And when we went to the bank machine the other day, we couldn't get in because the door was locked." It just made me think, maybe you guys were crashed or something. He started laughing and he goes, "No, not at all." Right? He said, "But we are having some, they were having some server issues." So, well, I mean, you try and pay anything in cash anymore. If I were to walk into a CIBC with my mortgage payment in cash and say I need to pay my, say my mortgage, I couldn't get it into the bank in time. So I went into a CIBC with my mortgage payment in cash. They would not accept it. They would not accept it. They would have to say, oh, no, blah, 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 because you can't tell me, you can't stand there. And they ask you all the security questions and they can get into your account. So you can't tell me that they can't accept cash, right? They just don't want to. I would have to say, okay, are you going to make me call a lawyer because you're refusing to accept legal tender for my mortgage payment? PayPal is not fining people, Angie Mack. PayPal is not fining people. That was a misprint that went viral. That's all that was. Well, yeah. Now listen, when you're talking about vodka can be used for fuel and stuff, I won't keep alcohol in my house unless it's isopropyl alcohol of 90% or more. If you want to go and buy 90 proof grain alcohol, or what did we used to call it? But it's just plain alcohol. I've done it to make oil before, like to do a tincture. But I won't keep that in the house. It's, there's two 25-year sober alcoholics in this house. I ain't keeping a bottle of booze around. But yeah, isopropyl alcohol is a good idea. And people go, why do you buy so much sugar? You don't need so much sugar. Because in a barter situation, sugar's always needed, right? What did Joe say? That wasn't a misprint. They were testing the waters and everybody was canceling it. Oh, well, apparently then PayPal got the message, because I haven't heard a damn thing about it, right? And if you think I'm misinformation, PayPal shouldn't look at my friggin' Rumble channel. And what gives them the right to do that? That's illegal. They can't fine you for misinformation, because what has PayPal got to do with your misinformation? You could be a total bloody idiot and be spouting all kinds of weird shit. But it doesn't make it okay for PayPal to say, well, we don't like what you're saying, we're just going to fine you. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Oh, Moonshine Everclear. Thank you, Monique. The Max YouTube channel speaks a lot about a lot of this. So I'm just saying, the legal backlash, and you guys know I'd be on the front line of that charge. The legal backlash that PayPal would have to deal with would be, I've had a PayPal account for almost as long as I've had a computer. 1999, 2000, 2001, somewhere between 1999 and 2001. And I don't always like how they, you can't transfer $9 out of your account. You have to have to your bank. You have to have a minimum. What? A minimum? You're saying I can't move my own friggin' money? Right? So until something better comes along that I can switch everything over to, I'm still with PayPal. Oh, you live in West Virginia. Moonshine and spirits are always available. I can see barter sugar for beans, but I don't think a $2,000 gold bracelet would have much value. Wouldn't be able to get change back very well. Well, you just make sure you buy very expensive and lots of the sugar. And gold will always have value. Why? You can fill your teeth with that stuff. It's always been I don't want to use labels, but the gypsy folk all over the world always were gifted with gold earrings because when they were born, because those were your just in case money, because gold always has value. Your just in case money when times got hard. And it was a testament to your ingenuity and your steadfastness and your hardiness that you never had to sell your earrings, right? Pirates too, absolutely. Sugar is gold in my house of coffee drinkers. Every time No Frills or Walmart finally put it on sale, I buy organic sugar. That may have to end someday, but for now, I buy organic sugar, and I'm going to Costco one more time because we're going to Peterborough this coming weekend for the baby shower. Yes, there's going to be no Freaky Friday. Patrons already know that this week it's going to be Manic Monday, Wacky Wednesday, and then we're going to do a special Halloween Freaky Friday live stream as well. So they're all going to be music because I'm not going to be here on Friday either, and I wasn't here this Friday because I was ill. Well, thank you, Rumble Bunny. Thank you very much. So, ow. Yeah, I buy in bulk too. I have approximately, when I filled my freezer and all my jars, I had approximately 135 pounds of flour. But I've been baking my own bread, and I still have close to 100 pounds in the freezer. But I've already gone through 2 cans of flour. So I'm going to be starting to soon. I'm going to be starting to dip into the flour in the freezer. Because now, see, this is a thing that I saw too, is bread went on sale, and I only buy specific types of bread. I buy whole grain, multi-grain breads. I don't buy just whole wheat. I can't stand just whole wheat. Might as well have sawdust in it. But I like multi-grain breads. And my favorite is Country Harvest. Ancient grains or multi-grain or oat bread or whatever. And they were on sale for $2.22 a loaf. Now, being as those loaves are more than twice that these days, I said to Howie, stop at Giant Tiger and pick up 6 loaves, and I won't bake this week. Because, you save your flour, right? And I said, pick up, and the limit is 6, pick up 4 packages of Schneider's bologna, because it was on sale for $3.97 instead of $5.47. And when he got there, the bread was completely gone, and he got the last 2 packages of bologna, and we never see that happen here. So that he actually took a picture of the empty shelf. He said, I don't believe it. He said, whether they just hadn't got it out. I said, no, Howie. If it's on sale and it's not there, it's because it's been, people are waking up to that. Nobody wants to spend $5 on a loaf of bread, right? Hey, Catherine. Hello from South Australia. I have a nephew and family in New South Wales. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, Linda. I'm thinking about buying it, but I gotta get the broth out, or all that vegetable matter out of the freezer. And I already have videos to edit for this week. And I have to commit at least 2 days of nonstop work to get the broth done. And my side of beef is coming in December. So I have to literally plan. I'm going to Peterborough this weekend for a much needed good time with my family. And I still have to can that broth and get it canned, have the energy to do so, then do the pantry video, the pantry tour video. I have no problem showing my pantry off. I have no problem with that because it's my pantry. And, don't come Don't come home looking for loving after being out, telling me I'm crazy, right? There are just people that if they come to my door begging, I will give them a jar of carrots and a box of Kraft dinner, and I'll say, please leave the property. You know what I mean? I won't see anybody starve, but people are just going to have to learn that, you know what, prices are going up. And I'm not an alarmist, I'm a realist, right? Vernon Kenny, we're buying another freezer mainly for the extra flour. Can you freeze sugar? You don't need to. You don't need to. Sugar is its own preservative. I know, Sherry Leach. I know. I'm hearing it. I'm feeling it. I really am. We did get an extra freezer because we thought my big one broke down. I've had that freezer since 2006 or 2006. I've had that big freezer. But I now have a little one in my pantry for butter and bread and bacon. I have a little one in the porch for when I get sales on vegetables I can freeze. And the big one is going to be flour and beef. And chickens. I got a few chickens in there that I'm hanging on to. So I need to get the broth done after the shower, but before the beef comes. And that's all I've got going on. I do have, let me know if you want to see it. Oh my God, country girl. Of course. You'll be included your family will be included in the prayers. Hey, Penn Smith. Sugar will spoil if not kept dry. Well, now here's what you do. Putting it into a freezer is not going to keep it dry, but you can empty it into a half-gallon jar and put a soda cracker in the bottom, or 2, depending on the size of the jar. Put a soda cracker in the bottom and fill it all the way up to the top, scrape off the top and put a lid on it. If my sugar gets a little hard, not hard, but clunky when it's been in the jar, sitting in the jar, I just stick a butcher knife in it and give it a shake and it's all good to go. Uh-oh, I was losing my connection there. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. The only thing I have to brag about is my husband and my exotic cats that adopted us, a Norwegian forest cat and an Egyptian Mau. Ooh. Well, when I get my side of beef, I'm also getting, I have the option for suet and beef bones. Yes, Susan Robinson, if sugar gets hard, you can grate it with a grater. Sugar used to come in logs that you had to break you had to break them, and then you had sugar tongs, and that's where the saying 1 lump or 2 came from. Not those little sugar cubes you can buy in lumps, but the fact that, sugar used to come in a loaf. So, you know what? It's been an hour and 20 minutes. I still see palm sugar sold in bricks. Well, there you go. See? What is too late, Rhonda? What is too late? So, thanks for being patient with me through my fibro flare. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for being the light in my life. I live a pretty isolated life. And yes, there are people around me. But you guys, there are people around me that love me, but you guys are the ones that lift me up on a daily basis. You're the reason I get out of bed every day and keep putting one foot in front of the other. You are the reason I don't give in and become disabled. No, you're not too late for the greeting card exchange, Rhonda. Seashell will put up I know I froze. I'm really sorry about that. I'm doing both these lives through Wi-Fi. I wanted to check its stability. You can whiz it in the blender too. Absolutely. Thank you, Vernona. What a pretty name. So thank you. You know, you guys are a huge part of my life. And the Christmas card exchange, Seashell is going to put up the email address and what you need, which is connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. And what you need is you need to put in the subject line greeting card exchange. And in the body of the letter, give me your YouTube name if it's different from the name that's going to be on your address, your name and your mailing address. Me and 5 other people are the only people, me and 7 or 8 other people are the only people who are going to get your address, and we're all strangers, but not strangers, right? And so you are trusting me to do this. And somebody asked if they could be only joined with Canadian, and I will do my absolute best to divide the list into countries so that we can not have to worry about sending seeds across borders if it comes to that. And if it does come to that, you just pick really slim seed packet and put it in the thing, right? So what you also need to do is you need to not just commit to receiving, you need to commit to sending 5 cards when I give you the names and addresses with a packet of seeds in each card. These cards come over the holiday season when some people are alone, some people are estranged from their families, some people, we are family, right? And it's a physical reminder that somebody reached out and touched you and has given you a little hope for spring in the seeds. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to say a prayer now, and those who don't want to stay are welcome to leave. My prayers are like my feelings about labels. All right? You do you, and I'll do me. Okay? We're not going to label what this is. We're just going to join hands and hearts, and you're going to connect to your faith, and I'll connect to mine. And we will have a few moments of spiritual nourishment together, right? There doesn't have to be a name for it. Me too, Alice. I'm really excited too. You're welcome, Samantha. Thank you very much. I will enjoy the shower, but I'll be back here Thursday. Probably Thursday night at around 8 o'clock. And that's going to be my last live until Sunday, and Monday. So patrons, you know to gird your loins, but you got 3 music-filled live streams coming up over the next 7 days or so, 7 to 10 days. Okay? For all those who care to, please help me close with a bit of spiritual nourishment. This is given everybody who wants to time to leave. If this is not you and it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. You will not be judged for leaving. There is no judgment here. The only people we have the right to judge is ourselves. And how we judge ourselves is how honestly we talk to God, right? Or your faith, right? So 3 deep breaths, okay? Excuse me. We're going to inhale love and exhale fear. We're going to inhale light and exhale darkness. And we're going to inhale positivity and exhale negativity. And that will hopefully part the curtains of the darkness that surround us in this world today and let us walk forward in light. Okay? Hey God, creator and one source of all, how's it going? God, I got to start off by saying thank you for all the wonderful people in my life that lift me up daily in their hearts and their minds and their prayers as I do them. Thank you for seeing me through another harrowing fibro flare and allowing me to come out the other side. I am grateful. Trust me, I am grateful. There's a lot of folks, God, that the scales have fallen from their eyes and what they see is not a happy place. And there's a lot of people who want to go back to being blind and they can't. And there's a lot of people who will remain blind. But for all of those people whose the scale has fallen off their eyes, God, give us strength. Give us light for our path ahead. We know you got us. We know you got us. And for all the people that just can't seem to get there, for all the people who are suffering, who are mourning, who are dealing with trauma and tragedy and financial fear, God, we lift all of these people, the sick and the alone and the addicted. We lift them up to you, God, because we know you got our back. But these people may not see. So we lift them up to you, God, so the light of your love can pour down over them and help them through the troubling times that they are facing. We lift them up, God, because we know you have us. So we ask you to have them also. May we go forward, flooded by the light of your divine love, so brilliantly that we glow and that the darkness parts before us, and those that are lost in the dark may come forward towards the light and your love. Thank you, God. Just thanks. Okay, dude, you know. Oh yeah, and say hi to Dad and Mom for me, will you? Man. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet. Blessed be merry part. Miigwech. Peace be with you. Walk in the light of God's love, for that will be the only thing that parts darkness. Whatever language you use to connect with your faith, always know love is the language always best heard. Take care. God bless, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Love you. Okay, now I got